Hello, boys and girls. I'm Pastor Charles, and welcome to another weekly Bible story. What is your favorite superhero? Have you ever thought about being a superhero before? If you could have any superpower, what superpower would you have? Would it be to fly? Would it be to turn invisible, or to make anything that you touch turn into pizza? I think that'd be my superpower. Make anything I touch turn into pizza. How cool would that be? You're walking around and you're hungry, you want some pizza, you just touch a chair and boom, pizza. Perfect superpower. Now I have a question for you. Would you use your superpowers to help yourself or to help others also? See, if you wanted to have the superpower to fly, you could just fly around and go anywhere that you wanted to go. Or you could also use the ability to fly to help other people who are in danger, like Superman would. Or let's say that you could turn anything you touched into pizza. Well, you could use that power to obviously give pizza to yourself, but if you see somebody who needs food or who just wants pizza, you can give them pizza too. See, superheroes are heroes because they use their powers to help others. Now, you don't have any superpowers, but you do have what we call abilities. You can walk places, you can talk, you can do stuff with your hands. You might even be able to play piano or play a sport or any of those things. Those are all abilities that you have. But do you just use your abilities to help yourself and to make yourself look good? Or do you use your abilities to help other people also? It's just like having a superpower, but on a much smaller scale. Today we want to talk about how Jesus used the abilities that he had to help others. Our story today comes from Mark chapter 1, verses 29 through 39 for you parents. Jesus had just met Peter, Andrew, James, and John and started recruiting his first disciples. And shortly after that, he goes into Peter's home. Now, while we're talking about superheroes, have you ever read a comic book? A comic book is like a regular book, but it has pictures to tell the story for you. Today, we'll be telling our Bible story here on a big comic book, okay? So, let's draw Jesus. Now, I'm not great at drawing, so you can laugh at my silly figures if you want to. Jesus goes into Peter's home. We're going to draw a little beard on Jesus. There we go. That's how we'll know which one's Jesus. It's the beard. A little smile on his face there. Have a nice stick figure body, because that's the best I can do. And then we'll throw in Peter's in there. We'll throw in Peter's wife, who's going to play an important role. But I tell you what, let's take that smile off of Peter's face and let's make a little frown. Because, well, there's something unfortunate happening in Peter's house. In Peter's house, Peter's mother-in-law is sick in bed. Here's the bed, all right? And then here's Peter's mother-in-law. She's sad. Oh, poor Peter's mother-in-law. She's sick in bed. Oh, no, we're going to put our hands like that. Peter's mother-in-law is sick. Now, do you know what a mother-in-law is? Your mom's mom. For your dad, that would be your mother-in-law. It's the mother of the person that you're married to. Or your dad's mom would be your mom's mother-in-law. Hey, quick question for you. What do you call your mom's dad? What does your dad call your mom's dad? Did you say father-in-law? If so, you're right. Good job. So, Peter's mother-in-law, his wife's mom, was sick in bed. Well, Jesus, he saw that Peter's mother-in-law was sick, and he walked over and he grabbed her by the hand. And when he grabbed her by the hand, she immediately got up out of bed and started working in the kitchen to make them food. Isn't that funny? She starts making, I don't know, we'll say that she made a cake, because they ate cake in Israel, didn't they? And here's a refrigerator because we know they had refrigerators, right? They didn't have refrigerators? Oh, well, okay. No refrigerator, but here, we'll make a nice little kitchen area. Oh, we'll put a nice little window here. Yeah, okay. So Peter's mother-in-law, big old smile on her face now because she's feeling good. She starts making Jesus and the disciples and Peter's wife starts making them food. Well, people all over town start to hear that Jesus just healed Peter's mother-in-law, and they had known that she was sick. So they want to come see this. Everybody comes into Peter's house, and they want to know more about what Jesus has just done. They're all coming. They're all wanting to see what's going on. They're all coming into the house, and actually, it gets so full. There's so many people. Imagine these being a bunch of bodies, so they don't have time to draw them all right? And Jesus is there, and he's teaching all of them. He's telling them all about God. But because they knew that Jesus healed Peter's mother-in-law, they asked him if they can be healed too. You see, some of them were sick also. Some of them might have had broken arms or legs, or some of them might have had other problems that nobody could fix. No doctors could even fix. And so they all came to Jesus until the entire house, and people were even outside the house. See, here's people outside the window. There's people everywhere. I'm going to draw as many people as I possibly can. Here we go. Oh my goodness. So many people inside of Peter's house. And they want Jesus to heal them. In fact, the Bible says in Mark chapter 1 that the entire city was gathered inside of Peter's house, gathered outside of Peter's house, wanting to be healed, wanting to see Jesus heal people. And guess what Jesus did? He stayed up late into the night, super late into the night, way past your bedtime, healing every single person who came to him. Because Jesus had abilities. He had the ability to heal others. And he could have just kept that ability to himself. Anytime that he got a scrape on his knee, he could have just and fixed it, but then never helped anybody else. But Jesus didn't do that with his abilities. Instead, when people came to him, he helped them. And that's what we should do too. We should help other people with the abilities that God has given to us. Now, I got one more part to our story because well into the night, way after Jesus had healed every single person who came to him, way after your bedtime, Jesus and the disciples, they went to sleep. But in Jesus' case, not for long. Because even though Jesus stayed up really late taking care of other people, he then got up super early in the morning. I'm going to draw some trees here. And then I'm going to draw Jesus. Because Jesus got up super early in the morning. And he spent time praying to God. He went way out, way beyond the city walls. And just started talking to God. Because even though Jesus took time to help other people, he knew it was important for him to spend time alone with God. And the only way he could do that was to leave all these people who wanted him to heal them. Well, after the morning, all the disciples, they wake up, they get out of bed, and they're looking for Jesus. They want to eat breakfast with him probably. But Jesus isn't in the house. So they go all through the city looking for Jesus. They can't find him until eventually the disciples, they also come outside of the city and they find him praying way outside the city walls. And they say to him, Jesus, what are you doing out here? People all over the city are looking for you. You're a big deal, Jesus. Everybody wants you to heal them. And Jesus says, nope, it's time to go to the next town. And then after the next town, the town after that. And the town after that, and the town after that, until we go all throughout Israel, all through Judea and Galilee, and we heal as many people as we can and tell them about God's love. And so they do. They leave the city that Peter's house was in, and they go on to the next town, and then after that, the next town. And we have so many stories to tell in the coming weeks of how Jesus went and healed people all across Galilee and Judea and even Samaria. But all that for another week. Hey, here's what I want you to do. I want you to think about the abilities that you have, the things that God has given you the ability to do. How can you use your ability to help somebody else instead of just helping yourself or making yourself look good? Talk about that with your parents. And hey, when you're done, I was wondering, what would it be like if you were a superhero? What if you had your own superhero outfit, you had your own superhero name, and had your own powers? Here's my challenge for you. Here's what I want you to do. Go around your house, find different things that you can make into a superhero costume. Give yourself your own superhero name like Wonder Boy or Magic Girl, something silly like that. And then figure out what your powers would be and how you would use your superpowers to help somebody else. And then post it online so we can see. If you're on Instagram, you can post it at NEBC Andover, or you can find the New England Bible Church page on Facebook. We'd love to see what your superhero name is, what your outfit looks like, and how you would use your superpowers to help somebody else. Thank you so much. We will see you next week.